I am Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to Gamekeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then buddy, you are in the right place. Join the Gamekeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, guys, welcome. West Point, Mississippi. Lanny, today is going to be a red letter day.
Great one for sure. We got Richie back on the boards over there.
The voice of the Caledonia Cavaliers.
What have you been doing, Richie? You been chasing hogs?
We've been setting up some traps and working with our partners there at Big Pig Traps and working with them, and that's a few shoots, and so that's what we've been doing the last few days.
Is it warm out there?
Boy, there's some words I want to say about how hot it is, but I can't say.
Did Jack actually go with y'all?
Jack was out there the whole time with us. Yes, he was.
I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, but it's good because we're talking about what today?
Wild pigs.
There it is.
And we've got two legends sitting over here on the couch from Union Springs, Alabama, Bullock County.
Now in your old stomping ground.
I think they had some turkey hunting Bobby.
He
He is so excited.
He's working an angle right
now. He's so fired up.
Well, so look, let's get them introduced. We've got Daniel Dawson sitting here.
All right.
And next to him, we've got his dad, Mr. Clifford Dawson. And now, Mr. Clifford legitimately is a legend, Lanny.
And no doubt about it.
He's been doing some type of hunting a long time.
He's, over lunch, he's got this apparently a magic kind of hypnotic ability with bull elk, too, on top of these hogs.
We're going to learn about that. Yeah. So, Mr. Clifford took me on my first coon hunt when I was about 15 years old.
And started it all.
And it just got me off on the right foot.
And dropped you on your head while you were out there.
Yeah, Mr. Jimmy Phillips farm.
Well, I saved the mosquitoes from getting him way back where we came from. They, if they get down in Pea River Swamp there, them mosquitoes will get you. And they was two that came along and picked him up, one hand, one the other, and started flying off. And they got to fighting and said, let's eat him right hand. We take him to the swamp, and big boys are going to get him. So I saved his life right off the bat.
Yeah, that was good memories.
You for that.
Yeah. Mr. Jimmy Phillips down in that world was kind enough to let me, it was really influential on me getting some exposure to some hunting. And I really have a lot of good memories from down there.
Dad has introduced a lot of people to the woods, probably.
That's awesome.
Lots and lots.
That's what it's all about.
Lots of people that didn't have people to take them hunting.
Yeah.
Well, Lanny, so we've got a lot to talk about. These guys run dogs, and I mean they are so. I mean, this is their lives.
Yeah.
This is in the fabric of their being. And when you think about, look, there's a guy. Y'all remember Archibald Rutledge? I got a quote. Now, I love doing these quotes.
Yeah. Cue up the music, Richie.
So,
I love the pan flute.
Richie. Okay, so Archibald Rutledge, he says, it has always seemed to me that any man is a better man for being a hunter. This sport confers a certain constant alertness and develops a certain ruggedness of character. Moreover, it aligns us to the pioneer past. And in a deep sense, this great land of ours was won for us by hunters. And Archibald was a famous boar hunter. He wasn't just a pig hunter. He was a boar hunter. And when you Google him about boar hunting, that came up. That was a great quote and about what all the values of hunting that young men and young ladies can gather from it. And I think you guys see that all the time. How many kids and grandkids have y'all got that are just going with y'all every time you go hunting?
We have 4 generations that's hunting together right now.
That's so cool.
Oldest is 82, and on down to, I think she'll have a first birthday
in a couple of weeks.
So,
Oh, wow.
So it's a family tradition, and I've been hunting wild hogs ever since 1987. Kyle Carrington and I got into hog hunting together, and Kyle is the one that kind of led me along the way. And we worked together, bought dogs, raised dogs together, raised children together. We were just, as he was mentioned a while ago, we were started off hunting coons together. And when we started hog hunting then, we used our coon dogs. But, that didn't work out. Coon dogs are good on coons. They can catch him when he hits the ground. But it didn't work out too good on them hogs.
Probably not.
They use that same theory. When I can catch that hog, I want to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had vet bills and dogs that didn't last long, and we went to a different type dog, and Kyle was responsible for that. And he was a great hunter, great Christian man. And he taught me a lot, but then on the other hand, I taught him a few things that he used too. So
There you go.
And I often, when we would go to meet new people, and we'd introduce one another, whoever was the guest, and I'd always say, or he would always say, said, "That's my husband-in-law." They'd look at us kind of funny. Said, "What you mean, a husband-in-law?" I said, "Well, my son married Kyle's daughter, so we husband-in-law." But we began hunting, like I said, in 1987, and that time there were very few hogs to be hunted, and we would sometimes go hunting 2 or 3 times, and we would not kill a hog. But later on, hogs are proficient, and they got to be more hogs, a few more hog hunters, and of course, you can't be satisfied if you're a dog man with one dog.
Oh, yeah.
That don't work. And we had more dogs and more dogs and more dogs. I know that Kyle at one time had 22 mature dogs in his kennel.
I have 15 in mine right now.
Well, I don't know how many litters of puppies he had at that same time. But Kyle was the type of person, and I'll talk. Kyle has been deceased for about 1.5 years, and that was terrible loss to the hog hunting world, but to me personally, because I spent so many hours. I made the comment a lot of times to him, and he agreed with it. I said, "Kyle," I said, "you know that you and I have spent more time together, awake hours, than we have with our wives." And he said, "Yeah, that's right." and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we got along. We had the same goal. We wanted to have the best dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And we have good dogs now. I'm not going to say they're the best. When I talk about a man's dogs are like people. Mm-hmm. You have some that's great, some that's mediocre, some that's not so great. But one thing that you learn with hog hunting and being around friends, I don't criticize your dogs. You don't criticize my dogs. My thought on that, if you got dogs and you feeding them, you're satisfied with them, I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be satisfied with my dogs. If I'm not, I'll try to go a different direction. And most of the time, it's not the dog's fault. It's the man that thinks he's training them. Mm. A dog is a lot smarter than people give them credit for. And it takes us sometimes a long time to learn that. But, just on the surface, people handle dogs different. I didn't get to talk to y'all's Labrador trainer enough today. I'd like to pick him about what he knows about training dogs. But to me, that dog has got to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be vice versa. He's my friend, I'm his friend. He trusts me, I trust him.
We put our lives actually in the hands of these dogs lots of times. Mm-hmm. It gets western sometimes at a hog bay.
Yeah. So
Oh, when you make them your friend, they want to please you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, that's the 100%.
And vice versa, like
that's
you
right.
said.
You
Well,
want to please them too. That's right.
Yeah.
The relationship is bigger than like the hunting.
Exactly.
Think
It
about
is.
that. There's that
There's a
bond.
bond.
I look at Copper laying there. You know, he almost died, and they brought him back to vet school. State worked a miracle, and he's back on Bobby's side again. And I just look at the relationship that they've had. It's way bigger than the ducks he's picked up. Even though that's great too.
Sure.
My point is, it makes me cry to think of the people that just stick them in a pen and think about them only to hunt and not make them their best friend, because they're the best friend you'll ever have.
Exactly right, and that's where I was. That was sort of the point I was trying to make. That my pleasure is not so much in killing a hog.
It's not about catching the hog.
It's
Gus.
not about catching a hog. What I enjoy most in what we do is taking a puppy when he's small, 6, 8 weeks old, and you start working with that puppy then.
Mm-hmm.
You start loving on him, you start petting him, you start talking to him. Sometimes, folks will just ask me kind of as a joke, well, do your dogs talk back to you? Well, in a sense, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a dog smile when you're talking to them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they smile. A dog is smart, and he's your best friend. But the most of my pleasure comes from raising a puppy and see him develop and become the best that he can be. And that's all I ask of a dog that I own. If he'll give me the best that he's got, I'm satisfied with him.
Yes, sir.
He might not be as great as some dogs I've had.
They're not all created equal.
They're not. I tell some people in a joking manner, they're like people. All people's not the same. You have friends. You have friends just like we do dogs that you trust with your life. And then you have a friend, and he's a friend, but you don't even want him hanging around your house when you're gone.
that's Lanny.
I was gonna say,
Jeez.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say to Bobby, Lanny was just talking about that the other day, but, when we were just, the subpar performance, and he was saying, well, but I'm okay. That's the best Bobby can be.
Yeah. Well, how did all these pigs, like in y'all's part of the world, they weren't always there, were they? Where'd they come from?
Well, the story goes, and I'll say that I know a good bit about it. It's mostly true, all of it. But a man had 7,000 acres leased of land. He was going to sell deer hunts. Deer hunt was new in the state of Alabama. Turkey hunting hadn't been going on very long. No hog hunting. And the story goes that he went to the Smoky Mountains where they were trapping wild hogs. He brought in 3 cow trailer load of hogs and turned them loose on that 7,000 acres. Well, some of them stayed there, but most of them didn't. And that was an explosion of the hog population. And they took over that part of the state, in a sense, there, and county surrounding, and just keep spreading, and they're still spreading.
Wow.
Auburn University has been trying for several years to come up with something to control the hog population. As far as I know, they have not made it. At one time, they had something that would sterilize the hogs. Well, when they went to testing it, it sterilized the bears. The bears are protected species in Alabama. So, it was not approved by the USDA. My way of thinking, and I'm not very smart, I often think about what my English teacher told me years ago when I was in high school. She told me, said, Clifford, the way that you study and apply yourself to school, said, you're not going far. And I didn't know right then what she meant, but she was right. You know, at that time, we were living in Aberfoyle, Alabama, which was about 5 miles south. And then when I got married, I moved to Union Springs. I moved 5 miles. Well, when I moved again, I moved about 10 miles. And I got to think about it. I said, well, you know, that team is teaching you what she was talking about. I didn't go very far. but you know, you learn as you go along. And I've been at it, like I said, for 38 years this year.
Dudley, why don't we loosen them up, both of them up, just a little bit, and get your rapid fires.
Okay.
Get your rapid fire started, and then we can just go down the road of hogs.
Okay. So I generally try to type these out, but I had somebody call in with some pretty serious questions right before the show. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to ask you guys about a dozen questions. Just try to give us a quick answer. We're hoping to get to know y'all better. Mr. Clifford, why don't you answer first, and Daniel, you'll go right behind him. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Would you rather eat edamame or redneck edamame, a.k.a. boiled peanuts?
And I'll answer the same thing. I'll eat them all.
Lanny coined that redneck edamame.
Yeah, southern redneck edamame.
What about Daniel?
You know it. The redneck.
Yeah. Plum jelly or muscadine jelly?
Well, I like muscadine. Raised on them. You know, when we were growing up, like I said, we were poor. My daddy was a sharecropper, and I was following the plow when I was 8 years old and worked all my life. And so that was something that we looked forward to. Why? Well, it put a little weight on us when wild plums got ready, and then muscadines, we picked up a little bit. You know, we added a little bit of weight. So
There you go.
yeah.
That's probably a both. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I like them both.
All right. Red tomato relish, chow chow, mayonnaise, or nothing on my peas.
Well, I like, man, you can't beat a bonny tomato.
That's true.
Fresh, and peel that thing and make you a sandwich with it with plenty of mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and if you got some good smoked bacon to add on there, man, you can't get much better than that.
Woo!
That Bonnie Original is a
The good
serious
one.
tasting.
What, Big Boy? Is that what it's called?
I think
Better
it's the
Boy?
Bonnie Original was the best tasting one.
Well, I had this year, I had Park's Whopper, which they are good tomato.
Yes, sir.
And also the Better Boy. And the Better Boy is a good tomato.
Oh, yeah. We always had better
Bonnie,
boys.
Bonnie get a free advertisement out
Yeah,
of
that's
it,
right.
But,
Yeah, we're
Shout out
going to
to
send
Al
a little
Chilton. That's right.
invoice over to Al.
All right. Next question. Yes or no, have you ever eaten a pig's foot from the gas station?
I have.
What about you, Daniel?
No.
Which do you eat more, deer or pig?
Pig.
What about you, Daniel?
Hog.
All right. Favorite month to chase pigs?
Well,
Bet it's not August.
All of them.
All of them.
all of them.
Anytime they'll let us.
All right.
It's a shame they don't have 13 months. You know, 12 is not quite
That's
enough.
the way I think about hunting in general.
War Eagle or Roll Tide?
Roll Tide.
Man, you know, there's
And Bobby invited y'all.
Bobby, I hate to say it,
Straight
but
gut kick on it, Bobby.
Would you rather watch a home game from the stadium or a home game from the hunting camp?
Well, I'd rather watch it from my home, for one thing. I'm the boss there.
Yeah.
I'm not. Where'd that go come from?
Well,
his boss passed away.
I'm a widower, so
I got that.
so I can claim that time.
That explains it.
But you know, one thing that I enjoy with a ball game is a good ribeye steak too, and that's convenient if you're right there at home and you got a grill you can kind of do that, and maybe even make a peach cobbler with homemade peaches, and
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
and things just, you can concentrate more on that ball game. You can cheer for who you want to.
Bobby might not be working that angle on turkeys. It could be food here.
It might be.
Yeah, roll tide on that one. All right, and
minute,
last,
Richie.
and last,
Say what?
Dudley, what you're losing your mind, Dudley.
Oh my goodness!
Bobby got tears in his eyes and laughed.
What is going on here?
and last but not least, what is the furthest you've ever run a pig?
Ooh.
Well, it's a little difficult, and I don't think we had reset the garments to make it official. But we jumped a pig out there, a boar, at Peachburg,
Okay.
Bullitt County. We caught the dogs off of him in Russell County up there at Hurstboro.
Crow flies. How far is that?
We estimated that the dogs run that hog for 28 to 30 miles.
Wow.
Dad gum.
I've seen 27 on my handheld before, and with the start a new hunt,
Wow.
27 miles. That dog may have rolled in the box, may have picked him up and packed back to the hog, but a good 20 miles on his own feet.
Goodness gracious.
Wowzers.
But we saw the hog cross the road about 3 different times. And of course, all dogs can't stay in a race that long. I think we had one dog maybe on him that was still when we caught him off in Hurtsboro, Alabama.
Wow.
But when we first started seeing him cross the road, my buddy hunt with Steve Patterson, he keeps up with it, got a 11-inch screen, and he can pretty much tell you where that hog's going to cross the road. And we try to be there all the time. When we run the hog, that's one thing we try to do is keep up with our dogs and see that hog that's running, if he's a long running hog, and these hogs that we hunt are. Just like I told you before, they came out of the mountains of Smoky Mountains, and they are runners and they are fighters. And the weaker dogs fall back, When you see them cross the road the first time, they're all packed together. When you see them cross the road 3 or 4 miles, you got one that's done took the lead, and the other's kind of dragging back.
On spots hanging back.
Yeah, and that's a hog race. But your better dogs, they're going to do the better job on a running hog. But
That's a long way to run.
Like you said, the dog's different, just like people, because I got a dog, I'd say, I call him a professional athlete, because if he was human, he would be a professional athlete. If that dog will run 15 miles and you pick him up, he is actually bouncing and smiling after 15 miles.
Breathing
you pick
out his
him up,
nose.
he comes out of the woods happy. I'm like,
Ready to go again.
but yeah, when somebody would told me that a hog would run 20 miles, I told them it was a lie. Out of bald face, say you're a lie. There's no way a hog can run that far until I experienced it myself.
But it goes back to the origin of the hogs. And
We can go south of where we hunt 40 miles, and a hog don't stand a chance with our dogs. We'll have him caught within 5-10 minutes. The hogs we run, that dads run for 40 years, they're educated. I think there may be a little evolution in that. I think they're born with tennis shoes.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I haven't studied it immensely, but I mean, they come from different places. We
Right.
were discussing this at lunch.
Right.
Some of them were domestic pigs. Some
Right.
of them are actually the wild European.
right,
Eurasian.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what our hogs are. That's where they originated from, and they're still take that characteristic. Now, they're not 100% what you call Russian or Russian, ever how you want to pronounce that, but they got a lot of that blood in them still today, and that is their nature. They're not like a domestic hog that was turned out, went wild, or whatever, that he became a wild hog. He's not built. You can look at him. I mean, his ears come out to the end of his nose and flop down. When you see one like that, like Daniel said, we'll have him caught in a few minutes going, he's not going anywhere. But when you see one that's got a big chest and he's about half head on him, got a long nose, little short ears sticking up, he got a long tail on him that we call a mule tail. It's not even curly. And he got a small butt on him. Now you can bet your last dollar that he gonna run.
He gonna do it.
Well, not only that, those are the hardest ones to trap and do anything with. They look like, some of them look like anteaters. It's crazy how long
They do, yeah.
They're long on those.
Yeah.
Now y'all aren't running dogs during the deer season, are you, or during turkey season?
No, we cut that off. Any time of open deer and turkey season, we don't turn a dog loose. It's so much controversy.
Yeah.
Too much risk.
We try to get along with other hunters. We respect a deer hunter. We respect
all
a turkey
landowners,
hunter, and we want to get along with them. For one thing, we hunt thousands and thousands of acres while we hog hunt. A lot of these acres and plantations are leased by men that live in Florida. And they're not going to be up here. But we've got permission, we've got keys to the gate, and they want us to hunt. But the best thing that's going for us in hunting so many properties is we try to do the best we can. One thing, we try to let a landowner or a leasee know when we're going hunting. That's good. The more you communicate with them, the better off you are. Most of them want to know, when you through hunting, what did y'all kill today? Well, we try to make pictures of the hogs we kill. You send him that picture, and he knows what's going on. When you end there, if you see any problem,
That's why you get invited back right there.
Right, exactly right. If you can take care of it, you take care of it. But it's something that's a washed out ditch, a bridge that's washed out, or whatever it might be. You let him know. You go to some places and somebody's done drove through his gate right there. Well, I want to call him right then. We're here. We didn't smash this gate. It was already smashed here. What do you want us to do? You want us to go? You want us to go buy one and put it up? Or no, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Appreciate you letting me know.
Exactly.
And that's how you get to hunt on people's land.
No doubt.
I own 220 acres. How long would it take a dog to get off of my? Just about as quick as you can turn him loose, he'd be gone. So
that's a good place to. Daniel? Why don't you tell us about what's a typical hog hunt like? Are y'all doing this at night or in the daytime? Walk us through dropping the tailgate. How you finding how do you know where to turn them loose?
Okay. Well, with the hog hunting, there's two sides of hog hunting. You got hog hunters that run cur dogs, and they're pretty much a sight or real hot scented dog. They'll go and catch hogs on 200 acres and stop a hog. They don't bark on track. They'll catch a hog bayed up where it's sleeping and slip in there. The way we hunt, we run these hound dogs. We're looking for a big boar track. We'll get in our buggy. We got buggies rigged out with the dog boxes and all. We'll get on them. We'll start, hitting the dirt roads, and we'll try to target a big boar hog. Now, lots of times we have people that call us that, we know when we go hunting whether the landowner wants us to try to eliminate every hog on the place, If that's the case, if that's the case, then we're going to go, we'll just turn the dog out randomly at the buggy, road him down the road, and he'll automatically, he'll pick up a track himself. But the way I like to catch big hogs. You know, I like to target. I like to go find a big hog. And when you can find a big hog track, a 200 or 300 pound hog, and we can put a dog on it, I know for a fact that we've tracked out hogs of 8 and 9 hour track old. You know, the hog. I have a picture of a hog 8 or 9 hours ago. Go put them dogs on the track. He may trail for 2 hours before he ever finds a hog, several miles before he ever jumps a hog out of his bed. But when that happens, you know, we'll try to keep fresh dogs. I like to try to keep fresh dogs, you know, and pack to them. We'll pick up after an hour or two of running the hog, we'll pick up the 2 to 3 dogs, you know, that's chasing and put 2 or 3 fresh ones on it. And that's the way to catch those running hogs.
So it's like running a relay.
It is.
Do the dogs, are they okay getting picked up? Or are they?
No. They'll avoid you all possibilities. They don't want to get in that buggy.
You better have a pretty good line of people there. Because not one or two, you're not going to catch a dog.
That's a good thing. The Garmin, nowadays you can, with the Garmins, we can tone and shock, and I can make a dog stop if need be. But I don't like to do that when they're chasing the hog.
Yeah.
If they're going on a property owner's land that we know it's going to be trouble, we can shut it down with the handheld unit.
And then the next wave of dogs, they just knock you down.
Tearing the box down as soon as you.
They're ready to go.
So we all hunt all day
Till we catch the hog.
There you go.
And so to explain what goes on there. So when they bay him up, what's going on there?
That's when the fun starts.
That's when you get that adrenaline rush.
Well, what happens?
Well, we're going to try to get as close as we can with that buggy, you know, but sometimes it don't end up like that. You may have to walk a mile through a swamp or through the thickest briar patch you ever seen in your life to get to these dogs. But we've got several bulldogs, and we usually just take 2 at a time, but we'll lead that bulldog in to the bay dogs when they, you know, bay up the hog.
Now, when you say bay up, what's going on there?
They stop the hog, and if we've got 5 or 6 dogs, they'll be around that hog and have him in a sense cornered, and he'll respect that hog. Respect those dogs. That's his enemy. He's not afraid of them, especially a big old mean boar. He's not afraid of them. Don't get me wrong. But they'll control that bay and keep that hog at bay.
It's like artwork. I mean,
They keep him in one spot.
Keep him in one spot.
It's amazing to watch. There's not a lot of times that we get to leave it. You don't get to experience that a lot, you know, to watch your dogs bay hogs, because it's they're always in the thick, nastiest place, you know. You'll be 5-10 yards from the dog and you can't see a dog. And the hog's right there under your feet also. But,
then you got these bulldogs.
But that's what I was going at. The bulldogs are so much safer, I feel like. When I don't hunt, when me and my son Taylor don't hunt, Dad and his buddy, they hunt they go in and shoot the hog. They don't have bulldogs.
Well, that's a bulldog. He's just a different color and don't have 4 legs.
You're right.
That's a good bulldog. A 22 Magnum is.
What kind of bulldogs are we talking? These aren't like Mississippi State bulldogs, are they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Now they are.
What's that? A 2-legged or 1-legged dog? Mississippi State bulldog.
We use American pit bull terriers. What I have.
Yeah, pit bulls.
Yeah.
So that hog is just running, then decides, I'm going to stand my ground.
I'm fixing to stand and fight these dogs.
Yeah.
That's what happens when the bay.
And they'll pretty much encircle him, keep him in one spot, and just keep him right there, and then y'all are coming in.
Yeah,
with
we'll
the
lead that.
bulldogs.
I like to lead that bulldog. I like to put my eyes on the hog before I turn that bulldog loose. But lots of times that's not a luxury. But you turn that bulldog loose, and you got a big mean hog, you better put your boots on, because they're fixing to be live action.
Yeah, and they go in and typically grab the ear.
They will ear the hog, a bulldog on each ear, and we'll slip up there and catch them by the back feet, and we'll roll them on the side and we'll christen them with that knife.
Boy, you got to have a lot of faith in that bulldog.
That's what I said when we started this. I put my life in them dogs' hands lots of times.
Yeah.
So do you like have some kind of armor you put on your catch dog, your bulldogs?
Yes. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people lose their dogs. That's a best investment to me. I think a hog hunter could invest in is a vest. Kevlar vest. We got Kevlar vests. They about $400 a piece, but you know,
Keep them protected.
It'll keep your dog alive.
That's the least you can do.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a shame. It's a shame to say this, but you know, a lot of guys, like I said, a lot of guys run a bulldog and try to catch hogs without a vest. And there's also a downside to that vested dog, Toxie. It's 90 degrees out there, and you got a vest, and that hog breaks, and your bulldog takes off after him. He'll overheat and die real quick, and that's a lot of guys' thought process behind that. But you put that vest on that dog, you put a tracking collar, a shock collar on that dog, you can stop him when he breaks to chase a broke hog.
Okay, so probably all you end up having to do is that
Just
beat.
beat,
Yeah.
and he'll stop in his
Tone.
tracks. If he don't stop, you can hit him with a little electricity, and he'll stop then.
Have y'all lost many dogs doing this through the years?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's something that's going to happen. I mean, regardless of how safe you are and how good of dogs you've got.
When you bay them up in them briar thickets, the dog can't get away. That's usually when it happens.
Too thick.
Too thick.
Most of our dogs are not what I call catchy. In other words, when that bulldog gets there and catches, yeah, they're going to jump in there too because that's their prize. That's what they was working for. But prior to that bulldog getting there, if he's, I would say, hog is 120 pounds down, yeah, he's a caught hog.
Them hounds will catch him.
Them plot hounds are going to catch him, and they can handle him. They're not afraid of him.
They'll respect that big hog.
But now they respect that big hog, and they're not about to catch him till them bulldogs get there. And they've been to that rodeo before, so they know what their job is.
Dad's got a couple of dogs actually that they'll be looking for the bulldog when we go in there to
Looking
the bay.
behind 'em?
Oh yeah,
They'll make a circle. They'll be baying. They'll make a circle and they're out. And they're looking for us.
Yeah.
They're looking for help.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. He's a big one. Bring two. Yeah.
So I guess when those dogs bay up, y'all don't have any choice but to go in there.
There's no choice. That's what I say.
No, you've got to go. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the bottom line. We think mighty highly of our dogs. I mean, we do. They put it on the line for us, and in return, we put it on the line for them. I mean, if I'm hunting with Steve Patterson, we don't have a bulldog. That don't stop us from going in the worst place to get in there to kill that hog. We gonna try to protect that dog.
Yeah.
The best we can.
I was hunting Sunday, and I had me and my wife, my son, and one of my buddies. We was hunting Sunday, and we had 2 hogs bayed at the same time. The dogs are split up, and we had hogs bayed here, and 900 yards to the west, we had dogs bayed there. Well, I went to the dogs that what I would call a rougher dog, where he might catch a hog. I said, well, let's go to these dogs first, catch the hog, dispatch it. My other dog's got this other hog bayed. He's going to respect the hog. He won't get cut. So we go and kill that hog. Well, when we go to, we catch the first hog, kill it. We go to the second bayed. It was a single dog, my dog in there bayed. And, I mean, it's terribly thick. It's nasty. We're hot. We're about to the point of heat exhaustion. My dog's in there bayed. And I told my wife, I said, I think I'm going to tone that dog and bring him out, make him come out. And she said, no. She said, no, you owe it to that dog to go kill that hog. So I best suited up and got my got the bulldog, and I start heading, but
it's brutal out there.
Oof.
Wow.
but we respect these dogs, like Dad said, that those dogs are like our children.
Who do you think's having more fun, y'all or the dogs?
The dogs.
Yeah.
They both, but people laugh at me a lot of times about my dogs, but if you hunt with them, and they're just as happy as they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd mentioned it to some of y'all before. Have you ever seen a dog smile? Well, they do. I mean, they show you that they're as happy as they can be. That's what they were born and bred for.
Even when those dogs have get a mishap, when they get wounded, injured, they still. I've seen those dogs. They will not give up. They will not. I've seen them try to still stay after game when they was severely injured. There's no quit on them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
Part of a champion.
Yeah, it is. Well, so the whole process, I for some reason thought a lot of this was going on at night, but it's
a lot of people do that at night. A lot of those cur dog hunters, they'll ride those dogs and rig a hog off of the buggy. And like I said, those cur dogs, you can't take a cur dog and put him on an 8-hour track. He's not going to smell it. He's not going to do nothing.
He's not designed for taking a
cold
track and trailing it for hours and being a hog. He's just not made for that. I mean, he's a hot nose, and I don't fault anybody for hunting with cur dogs and hunt their way if that's what they're happy with.
It's a different style of hunting.
But it's a different style from hound hunting.
I'm not going in those woods at night. I'll tell you now. I got some very good friends, and he is a heck of a hog hunter and has I'd say some of the best cur dogs in this country. Brock Trawick. And, he's wanting me to go hunting with him at night. I'm like, I'm not going. He's a young kid, I'm 55 years old, and I'll trip and stumble in the daytime. I'm not going in the hogwoods at night.
Yeah. So the cur dogs and y'all are hunting hounds.
Right.
Plot hounds.
What are some other breeds?
What kind of hound was that?
Plot.
Most people don't even know what they are.
Yeah, when y'all were saying it earlier, I was like, I need to figure out what a plot is.
You don't have to Google
it's a plot hound.
Yeah,
okay.
They were brought over. There's a heck of a story to go along with those dogs. The family, they're named after the family that brought them over here.
The Plots?
Right.
Yes, Mr. Bob Plott. Mr. Bob Plott's still alive, and he can educate you on a Plott dog.
He's a historian on the Plott family and Plott dogs, and he's still living. He has a podcast too.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, okay. Sure does.
Look at there, Bobby. Somebody else is doing this.
How about that?
Imagine that.
Hog Wild.
Plot. I have never heard of a plot.
I've heard
hound.
of plot. It's two T's, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they got real long ears.
Brennan, yeah.
Well, ordinarily, they don't have as long as most of your American-style hounds. In other words, you take a tread walker, red bone, blue tick, they have longer ears. There's always been, I am not saying a controversy, but different opinions about Plott dogs. Some people, claim, Plott dogs, they got a little bit of everything in them. And I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't care. They're a registered breed. They've got breed standards, and they are what works for us.
Yeah.
I got a pretty inbred dog I'm pretty proud of. It was an accident, but she turned out to be a pretty good dog.
Kind of like Bobby.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay.
He's like Bobby.
It turned out all right.
Bobby's got a couple extra toes on one foot.
Yeah.
I'm glad he don't pick on you, Bobby.
Yeah.
So talk to us about.
It's a full contact sport here.
I've never heard anybody. Got a bunch of friends that do this, and I've been a time or two. But talk to us about a new pup. How do you start them and train them? Do they pretty much just kind of learn most of it from watching other dogs? I mean, I know the breeds you have, it's going to be instinctive for them anyway. So I'm sure it's just about bringing out the instincts that are already there. But how do y'all?
Well, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. Sometimes you get a puppy that's got lots of natural ability. what you try to do is try to improve what he can do. And just like I say, there are lots like people. You have some people that's genius, some that's a good athlete, some that can't hardly walk. And that's the same way with dogs, but we try to keep it in a narrow line through line breeding. And you take a pup then, and you start working with him, early. You carry him around with you. You carry him hog hunting.
I got a 6-week-old puppy I carried hunting the other day. Just to introduce. They have no clue what they're doing, but I'm introducing them into what's going to happen.
And you work with that puppy, and a lot of it is handling them, getting them to where he'll lead. And that's, if you ever work with a puppy when he was 4 months old trying to lead, you got a gyro out there on the end of a lead that you can't do anything with. But back when I had grandchildren that was 7 and 8 years old, I didn't have to teach them to lead. They did. Puppies love children.
That's what I like about my crew.
Puppies.
I don't have to.
And they'll train that puppy to lead. But then you've got to get him used to hauling them around in a buggy. You've got to get him used to hauling around in the truck. And it's just a learning process.
Slow gradual process.
When you actually get ready to hunt him, you hunt him with dogs that he's accustomed to being around.
A mature dog, a lead dog.
And you hunt him with people that he's accustomed to being around. And that's a big start for a puppy. And he feels good. He's at home. He's with dogs he knows. He's with people he knows. And he has a better chance of when that dog opens on the track, he might not go the first time, but he'll show you some interest in it. He'll smell of that track, and he might go
200 yards.
200 yards, and he might come back to you, and then he'll think about it, and he might want to try it again, and that's just his learning process.
The natural ability dogs to take off and automatic gone, you don't have to worry about them no more. Some of them do it themselves, just instantly. But that's rare.
The two easiest trained dogs, and I didn't train them. I had a dog. I live in the sticks. I'm a half a mile from a public road.
We're about a half a mile from our closest neighbor.
Right. And so I can let my dogs run out when they're growing up. I turn a puppy out every day. Let him learn
Dad will
to
let
get in that pond, to be around cattle, to be around other dogs and chickens, whatever you got. And he's learning that whole time.
They had to turn a dog loose at his kennel when he's washing out the kennels down there, a puppy.
Right.
And they may go run deer. He had them dogs he got now. They go run a deer. They stay gone 2 days at a time, and would be running deer.
Yeah,
as 4-month-old puppies.
Yeah, they'd leave, and sometimes they'd be gone overnight. And what did that teach them? That taught them how to trail themselves back.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about them, yeah.
Sure.
They got my collar on them and nameplate, but, and it finally kept on going until it got to be 2 days they'd be gone. And that's when I started shutting them up. And the first time that I took them and turned them loose to a hog race, they never looked back at me. They already knew how to run a deer. Mm-hmm. They went right on in that hog race. And that was the easiest way to train them. But the dog trained them that I had running loose there more than I did.
Mm-hmm. I like to show them a hog too, a small hog. And we'll trap. I'll put out a trap and trap a hog. Have one caught in the trap, and I'll carry that puppy over there before I disperse of that hog and let that puppy, bait that hog in a pen. Yeah.
That reminds me of the best blood trailing trainer I ever knew, a guy named Sam Monroe, and he always said, when you take a pup and start teaching them the blood trail, the first 5 or 6 at least, you kill the deer, it had a good blood trail, you know the deer's already laying
And you
there,
see him.
and then take the pup to that
Yeah.
was a sure deal. And do that for 4, 5, 6 times, and they're off to the races.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So do y'all find like in today's environment, or most of the people that are letting you go on their places, are they wanting just you to get, man, catch all those, let's get rid of the pigs?
We very rarely run into people that these dogs are they're liable to go on somebody's property where the dog can't read the sign, no trespassing sign. The dog's gonna run, and as long as I know that the landowner is not gonna be a
You know what?
My daddy says the south end of a northbound mule.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna let the dogs go on through that property. We'll stay on the county public right of way, let the dogs go on through, and usually they'll end up where we got permission. But most of the people, Bobby, are kill them all, come get them. We want y'all here.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's
But you got to be. It's such a fine line. You've got to be so respectful though. Of it doesn't matter whose land it is. That's just a big deal. We hunt a lot of plantations. We've got several places that's over 10,000 acres continuous that we hunt. We don't have to worry about that. But lots of times we'll go and catch hogs for people that call or whatever with only a small parcel of land, and we try to beforehand, know the landowners that's possibly going. If the dogs get off, we know. And Dad's been doing it so long, we know where we can get where you want it and where you're not.
Yeah. Are y'all seeing places where these wild pigs are just destroying the habitat down there?
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been there so long.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can take you to some places that would amaze you. Some swamps, wet ground that's nothing but hogs.
Do y'all ever like pre-bait an area?
We don't try to cheat.
Don't need to. I mean, well, I'm going back to a plot dog. I mean, that's what he is bred for.
We want that dog to track and trail for a while.
You want to give that dog opportunity to do what he is capable of doing, and he loves it. Let me give you an illustration of a dog that I had that I often think about, and he was a plot dog too. He came from Emerson, Georgia, up there with Wayne Allen, some of his North Georgia plot dogs. And I was hunting on a big plantation by myself, went out there and found a big hog track, and I turned old George loose on it. And it was a cold track. I had other dogs there, and he'd peck along and peck along and peck along, open a while, and I'd send my other dogs in there, and they couldn't smell it, and after a while they'd come back to me, and I was steady following him on a four-wheeler at that time. I didn't know he was going around the world when I turned Georgia loose on him. But that plantation there was about 15,000 acres. And he left where he went and went way down to the other end, made a loop, and came back up there 12 o'clock, midday. He made that hog in his bed. Now, I'm not saying that hog weren't on the other end and in that bed when I turned George loose. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that he trailed that hog for 6 hours before he made him. And to me, that's what a trail dog is, and all of them is not capable of that. I would say that was one of the few that I had. And to back up, what another thing that I found out about George. Like I said, I was putting some dogs to him that couldn't smell the track. Well, at one time, they got out there and jumped a bunch of pigs. Well, I thought then, I said, well, that's all, that wound it up, George left a track. He went in there where them dogs run the pigs. He went right back out there to where he was trailing that big hog. He never opened on that track. Now, how did he have sense enough to know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he got back out there on that track and stayed with it several more hours and made that hog. But that's unusual.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's exception.
So he could differentiate an individual pig by the track and kept on him.
I kind of wonder that sometimes too when we're hunting.
Well, I'll say this. George was one of the very few that I thought was capable of that. Most dogs are not. And we see it every time that, I'm not saying every time, but a lot of times when we turn loose on a big boar track and he goes through sows and pigs, and more than half time, our dogs will wind up on them sows and pigs than they will stay with that boar track. But George, he was the exception. And most of the time, he was going to stick with that track that he started out with. Now, I've got another dog now that has a tendency to do that, but he's not nothing like George was and not as sure. But I've got a dog that I call Clyde. Kyle Carrington raised both of them, named one of them Bonnie, one Clyde. And that might not be too good of a name.
Great name.
Going back to the history of Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
but I wound up with Clyde,
Yeah.
and he's similar to that. He's pretty good with sticking with a track that he starts with, but he's not as good as George. But he does a better job than most
Was
of us.
Clyde kin to George?
Well, way down the line, he is. Yes.
We need to hit the horns for George, Richie.
Yeah. Well, so what about
George was the man.
what can you tell us about like big mature boars that we hear about this shield that's on them? We heard you at lunch, Daniel, say if he ever looks you in the eyes. Tell us about some of your experiences and what you've learned about these adult
The
males.
biggins.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want them to lock eyes with you. I can tell you, if you go to a bay and that hog and all the commotion that's going on, them dogs barking in his face, there's a lot going on. If that hog locks eyes with a human, you better be prepared to climb the tree. Because I don't know what it is, but something triggers those hogs. If you eye to eye a hemmed up hog, he's coming after you.
Have you had them come after you?
Oh, I've
yeah.
climbed
Many times.
many trees that can make you call Daddy. Let me tell you about Daddy. Let me tell you about that. We went to South Georgia. My son-in-law he was running a place. He was working on a plantation over there, and they only had 2 hogs on this place. It's several thousand acres, and only 2 hogs on it because they're running cameras, and
Yeah.
and we knew what we was going after. There's one about 400 pounds over there. But anyway, we get over there, we get the hogs bayed up, we carry bulldogs in there, and we turn them loose. And when I turn the bulldog loose, I take off behind. As soon as I turn the bulldogs loose, before they ever catch, I'm behind them, running. And as soon as they try to catch, I want to catch the hog, So anyway, we turned the bulldogs loose on this Big Daddy, and I commenced to run in there, and the hog is running toward me with both bulldogs, one attached to each ear. And that hog's looking me in the face. So I went to hollering, Daddy, shoot that thing. He said, I can't. He said, dogs all over. I commenced climbing the tree then. But about the time I got up the tree, the dogs, that big hog got tangled up in some vines with the dogs, and everything calmed down. But it got kind of hairy there.
How do you know?
Dad, we broke the internet. I broke the internet with one video. Dad shot a hog. We had a hog bayed, and it was in some open oak trees. Very rare like that. I mean, we pulled up, parked the buggy, and I could see the hog down at 80 yards. 4 or 5 dogs on it, had it surrounded, bayed. And I get the bulldog out and putting the vest on it and trying to hurry as fast as I can and watching what's going on. Dad gets his gun out and he's walking toward the hog. He's going to go down there and wait on us to bring the bulldogs. Well, that old hog locked eyes with Dad up there. Well, at first it broke. The hog broke up there and was coming toward us, and they baited again. Well, I got up there about 40 yards, I think, from Dad, and I think he was done made up his mind he's going to shoot this hog anyway. Well, Anyway, that thing locked eyes with him, and it takes off right at him from 40 yards away, running right at him. And a friend of mine sitting in the buggy, he got his phone out videoing. This hog's going straight at Dad. Well, he gets about 2 feet from Daddy, and Daddy put a side step to him, points a gun down, pow, shoots him right in the head. I mean, point blank.
Golly.
Shoots his hog. Dad falls to the right. The hog falls to the left.
We need that.
I'm going to send you that.
We've got that on video, and I don't
It
know.
was 60 or 70,000 views within the first couple of hours.
I bet so. Yeah, that's exciting.
It's funny how those impulse shots, you can surprise yourself with how good of a shot you can be.
That's
when-
called survival. Yeah,
when you have to be.
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy.
So when y'all do have one bayed, how do you know when to go in and then grab him by the tail and legs and flip him?
When that bulldog got him caught.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I go
and he's
in.
not looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once I release that bulldog, I'm not worried about that hog.
Except that one that had both of them on his
that's
ears.
that's pretty rare. I mean, you don't get a hold of something that big very often.
So usually when the
We caught a hog Saturday. Weighed 306 pounds, and those 2 bulldogs hammered and pinned it to the ground.
no. But you pretty much go in on the back end, grab their back legs.
Yeah,
and
them
flip
bulldogs
them.
will get here, and we're just slipping there on the backside and grab a leg and try to roll it. We'll pick it up and roll it over on its side and hold it down. With our knee or somebody.
Yeah.
So those bigger boars they develop a shield around their vitals.
You can't get a knife in that shield.
Yeah.
On those big hogs, you can actually see it. It's like a plate, 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-foot square, that covers their vitals on their sides.
It'll stop a bullet in some bullets.
It'll stop a high-powered.
That's where I was going.
Depends on what kind, but I've shot them buckshot. It'll stop buckshot. I've killed so many with shotgun when I was littler, but there's rifles that'll go through it, but it's not a given. I'll tell you that.
I've caught lots of times especially if you catch a hog in the water when he's swimming, and we get out there and we catch a hog by the water, and I've caught several times. I've had them caught in the water, and I was just trying to stab what I thought was their vitals here, and you cannot get a knife. And I'm talking about hard as I could possibly go, trying to stab that hog. It will not go in. And you got that. The way I like to kill them is you get that front leg and go right in between their both of their front feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right there.
On the underside.
Right, like the brisket.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's as
But that
close as
shield,
right to his
that-
heart as you can go with a knife.
I've shot them like this. I've shot them sometimes I don't like to do this, but I'll admit it. I've shot a hog that we was running with the dogs before we bait it
Right.
with buckshot. And one time I done that it was crossing a dirt road. I shot it with a shotgun 3 times, 12 gauge. That hog kept going. We ran it about 1.5 miles across another dirt road. When it crossed that second dirt road, it had a blood trail. I'm talking about a pretty good blood trail.
Wow.
But that hog never died. They ended up. He did. We bait him, but he went a long way with that buckshot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've shot one from here to Ritchie with a bow, and had the arrow bounce straight off of it, and the arrow laid on the ground.
Well, you've also got the leg bone in that
Yeah.
shit. That if you looked at I guess a Boston butt, that big blade in it. That blade
That's
is
it.
part of that too. It is not letting something through. It's just
What is it about the big boars that excites you so much? When you start talking about the big ones, I can see your eyes start
Get the smiling,
lighting up.
yeah.
It's just
Well, that's adrenaline rush.
there's danger involved. So I mean,
It's exactly what it is. I hate to admit it, but I'm an addict.
Yeah, that's awesome.
adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
I've never had any dealings with illegal drugs, but there's nothing more addictive than hog hunting. If you don't get a adrenaline rush out of hog hunting, there's something wrong with you.
No doubt about it.
I'll second that, Bobby. You followed me.
too.
I've known you a long time, and I have traveled this United States elk hunting, deer hunting. I've I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I've killed as many deer as anybody in this country could possibly do. And a deer don't excite me anymore. I started hog hunting and I put the deer and the turkeys to the side. That's the kind of rush it'll give you. So.
Turkeys to the side, Toxic.
I'm sorry, that's blasphemy.
I'll give you some advice. Don't get a hog dog. Don't buy a hog dog.
Well,
I'm sure you see them and you want to hunt them.
Yeah, most people that get them, that's all they do.
You got so much vested in those dogs. Goes back to the love and the care and the
That's right.
companionship. I've got so much vested in those dogs, money-wise, more so in my heart, that I would rather spend more time with those dogs.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, even I can relate that to having labs. I mean,
Yeah.
is like you want to go hunt them.
Like
You're more encouraged.
just say y'all with you guys with
go
the-
and go just because he wants to.
You're going to get up and go hunt because that dog wants to
because
go.
he wants to go because he knows it's cold. And he's looking
I
at
go
you.
all the time and don't even take
Don't
my gun
want-
off safety.
don't
just
want to.
Or I won't. I just let me take Gus.
Yeah,
you
just
know.
take them
Yeah.
and go because they're
No,
looking
be
at you
forced.
want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing what a dog would do for a human.
No,
it is. Oh, it
Man's
is.
best friend for a reason. That's for sure.
so you don't take all of them every time. So when you give a couple of dogs the nod and they get to load up, what are the other dogs like? Are they just like?
Are they whining?
They don't really like you right then.
They'll have a mess waiting on you when you get back from hunting. They'll have you a good mess waiting on
I've
you.
seen y'all videos of Gus crying.
Yeah.
When I told him he wasn't going to go, and he starts crying. Literally started crying.
Yeah.
So, really, what's the best part of this? Is it like hunting the pigs, the adrenaline, the killing,
the best
or
part
is
of
it the
this
raising the dogs?
It's
and
a camaraderie. I like to go with a lot of people. A lot of people don't like to hog hunt with dogs or dog hunt with a lot of people, but I like to have my whole family with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to have my dad. I'm blessed to have him here. He's
Amen.
82, 3 years old.
Cherish
it's
every
just,
day.
Yeah, it's just it's just the same thing that goes along with any hunting.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking for the game as your prize at the end of the
That's
day,
right.
you're doing it the wrong way, buddy.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Daniel, would you kind of explain to our listeners? You said that hog hunting actually saved your dad's life. That there was.
I thoroughly believe that. When Mom passed away, I didn't hog hunt. I've really just gotten into this. This is my third year.
Yeah.
But you've been hunting everything else.
Oh, I've hunted everything else since I could walk and was very proficient at it. But yeah, my mom had cancer and we went through that deal. It was a tough battle.
4.5 years.
So, but when she passed away, I go off to work. I work for Bonnie Plants. I go and I run a facility for them in Cartersville, Georgia. So I'm gone, 6 months out of the year. My son Taylor, he works for the company for me also. So we're gone. And Mom got sick, passed away. And Dad, he got COVID, got sick, and he almost died himself. And I don't know. I feel like Dad had given up on life. He had got into a bad point in his life.
Yeah, we're all here. Just take your time. Take your time. It's a good story. I think folks would enjoy hearing it.
Yes. And honored that you would tell it.
Yeah.
Very honored.
I don't know that I can get it out.
Well,
Yeah, you can.
that just means it's a story. It's a story that really matters.
Yeah, it is.
But Dad got sick and he was down. And I felt like he'd give up on life and all the rest of the family had. And I told my son Taylor, I said, there's one thing I know that he'll do and he'll enjoy it. I said, me and you need to go hog hunting with him. And so we told Dad we want to go hog hunting, Dad. And he hadn't been able to hunt either. His health was bad, and the deal we'd been going through with Mom, he had given a lot of his dogs away to people to hunt for him, And so anyway, me and Taylor, my son Taylor, we go hog hunting with Clifford. Well, lo and behold, I fell in love that day. With the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Within a week, I was buying dogs, building kennels. I was a hog hunter, son, overnight.
Yeah. What a blessing.
I had a lot to learn, and this is a hard sport to learn. I mean,
It is.
and it's hard for somebody to get into this and get started and to be good at it. I mean, if you start from scratch, you have no dog, you don't know people. I mean,
Well, you had a mentor.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
yeah, that's what I was getting. Dad, I'm so far along advanced in this hog hunting than anybody with 3 years experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. So he gave you a love of hunting, and then this brought y'all back full circle.
Yeah, it did. I didn't, like I said, I didn't hunt. I went with him and Mr. Kyle a little bit here and there. When my kids were small, they would go with Dad.
Oh, yeah, they enjoyed it.
They enjoyed going with, but I wouldn't go. I'd send them with him. You know, if we didn't have the Garmin, they'd look for dogs all day long. You know, they'd hunt for 2 hours and hunt dogs for 6 hours, and sometime into the next day looking for dogs. And I didn't. I had better things to do in my life at the time.
Look for dogs.
Yeah, than look for dogs.
Yeah.
But the first time we went, we baited us a big old hog. Like I said, boy, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Then it fired him back up.
And it also, it made me have a little remorse from thinking of all the time I missed spending with Dad because I didn't do that, because I didn't hog hunt.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, and you can't.
You can't get it back.
Yeah, but
No,
you
but
can't
But
dwell
I
on
can't.
that.
No, I mean I don't
That's
now.
history.
I don't now.
Yeah, that's right. And you were born a hog hunter. You just found it again later.
I guess so.
And in reply to that, I'll say it's tough losing a
Yes, sir.
helpmate.
Oh my gosh.
We were married 57 years, and spent very few nights apart. I made my living working with a Dixie Electric Co-op there in Union Springs, and of course, at times we'd go off and work storm trouble, hurricanes, ice storms, snowstorms, and such as that. And that's about the only time that we weren't sleeping in the same bed. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, when you've got a wife like I had, you know, you can't really appreciate them enough while they're living. When they're dead and gone,
Don't take your loved ones for granted.
it is when you really look back and see how great a wife you had, and how much she loved you, and how much you loved her, and she would do anything for you. Mm-hmm. She was a much smarter person than me as far as work. I tell this to people, and of course, with this younger generation, you know, I'm not saying all of them is, but a lot of them, they don't marry with the intention of being married all their life.
Yes, sir.
You know, they don't go into it like that, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, you know, till death do us part. That's just something that somebody dreamed up. You know, I'm not all for that, is the way they look at it. You know, if we get along together, you know, that'll be good. If we don't, I'll find somebody to get along with. Well, good Lord pointed me to this angel. First time I saw her, she was in church. I was in church. Good Lord revealed to me that very day, that's your wife right there. After church, I went down there and asked her for a date, and we went to Clifford Theater there in Union Springs, Alabama, which don't exist anymore, and saw Blue Hawaii with Elvis Presley. And about 9 months later, we were married. And like I said, married for 57 years, and I was a blessed man. But you know, God brought her, and I say this, and it doesn't apply to anything about hog hunting, but it applies to life, that she was raised in Texas, Panhandle of Texas. Her daddy and mother divorced, she married a man that was in service. They went to Guam, lived over there 3 or 4 years. Just so happened, y'all don't know where Smut Eye is except Bobby. Bobby knows where Smut Eye is at. That was his home. He brought them back to Smut Eye, and I lived about 5 miles from Smut Eye, went to the church at Smut Eye. So God had a plan for me that went all the way from Texas to Guam back to Smut Eye to bring me that wife. and he had a hand in it. I mean,
No doubt.
and it weren't an accident that it happened. It weren't an accident that when I saw her the first time, I said that's the bride for me right there.
Well, Daniel, I think that hog hunt y'all went on put the life back into him. It sounds like.
And his health has turned around. So I mean, it was a miracle. It was sent from. I mean, if we gonna talk about God, it was sent from God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his health is. I mean, he's 82 years old right now, and I don't know very many people that's 82 years old can do what this fella does.
Chasing dogs in the woods. That's
Dodging boars.
Most of the time, 80% of the time when we bay a hog, he's the first one there.
You can't miss out on the payday.
I said this the other day. I might have said it on a podcast. I don't know if I was talking to y'all about these, seeing a documentary on these blue zones, where for the longest time people live longer, and it's a real thing.
Centurions.
And so I guess I think there's a place in the U.S., but 5 or 6 top spots in the whole country. The one thing they had all in common is that everyone keeps on working. They don't retire, and they keep on being active, and it's something they love doing.
Oh yeah,
and that's a pretty good testament to it right there.
That's exactly what happened to me. I worked with Dixie Electric Co-op for 39 years. They hired me before I finished high school. Wow. God gave me that job. The manager taught a course in electricity at our little trade school there, and I made the highest. And it was just a gift that I had, really mostly from mechanicking on automobiles that me and my brothers did. That it helped me in that. And before I graduated, he called the principal and said, "Tell Clifford to come over here. I want to talk to him." So went over there, and he asked me if I was looking for a job. I said, "Yeah." I said, I'm not going to college. I didn't have all the schooling I can stand." I said they didn't need to worry about me going to school another day. So he hired me, and I stayed there 39 years. Well, what led me to retirement, 2 years before I retired, I had a terrible melanoma cancer.
Ooh.
And
he's a 3-time cancer survivor also.
And,
wow.
And at that time, if you didn't get a melanoma with surgery, it got you. I mean, and that's what they told me up front. Well, praise the Lord. They got all of the melanoma. Well, lo and behold, next year I came down with prostate cancer. And didn't know what to do. I finally asked the doctor, I said, "Doctor," I said, "I know you're not supposed to give me any advice." I said, "because you could be held liable, but I said, I'm just an old country boy." And I said, "I'm asking you if you was in my position, what would you do?" He said, "Well, I would have that prostate removed, and you'll die one day, but it won't be from prostate cancer." Well, I got thinking about that too, and I got over that. And I thought then, I said, well, what in the world am I still working for? I've done come close to the brink of death here 2 times with cancer. I said, I'm going to retire. And I did, 57 years old, and I retired. Well, when I retired, I went to hog hunting about 5 or 6 days a week. I hunted by myself.
He hunted by himself, and
wow.
I don't know how he's alive right now, because he's supposed to have been dead from that.
But
if you hunt, you hunt hogs like we do by yourself 5 times a day or 5 times a week, something's supposed to happen to you. Just a chance by chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know that gave me inspiration. Really, it did. I was enjoying life, and still am.
There you go.
And you know I can look back, and I'm blessed to be a born again believer, because I can look back and see where God had His hand on me the whole time. I didn't know it
Yes, sir.
at that time. I didn't know that He would lead me and guide me and put me where He wanted me to be.
He'll do it. All you got to do is ask.
But He did without me asking Him, and I didn't know He was doing that. But you know He did. And,
That's good stuff.
And I'm here today because of God's mercy at 82 years old, and I can't go hog hunt before tomorrow if anybody's going.
I say, it depends on what time they get away.
Yeah.
I go this afternoon.
Well, we're wanting.
I mean, you got better posture at 82 than Bobby's got at 60.
Thank you,
Throw
Dave.
me in that one too.
But sometimes Daniel will call me, you know, and he'll be off, not going to work that day, and he said, Dad said, you want to go hunt tomorrow? I said, I don't see any reason why I can't. So,
That's right.
you know, that's a good answer that I have. You know, I don't know if I've got a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment.
He'll cancel them most of the time if I tell him I can go hunting.
I might call in and said, how about moving that appointment on down to next week or something? But,
Well, we want to in this next February, we want to embed Richie with you for a day or two and film one of these hunts. It sounds so exciting. We want to hear somebody holler,
Yeah,
"Daddy!"
great. I think it'd be great.
Is that our war correspondent, Richie?
We're all working on that, but it sounds like I'm gonna have to be on my toes to stay up with Mr. Clifford, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
you're
sure.
going to be the one yelling daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy, you better be running.
So, look, let me ask you this: have y'all figured out a way to prepare this wild boar, the meat? Have y'all figured out a way that works for y'all, that y'all like it? We hear so many people say, "Well, I wouldn't. It's not worth eating," and I hear other people talk about how good it is.
You just about to have you a young one.
I'll tell you one thing that Kyle and I did quite regularly. We'd catch a boar, and during that time period, it was not illegal to take that boar.
In the state of Alabama,
Keep 'em alive.
it's yours. You got to kill, dispatch that hog immediately. You can't transport it.
Right.
Big fine.
I was around. We had Alabama places all my life, and one we leased, the guy that was kind of caretaker, he would catch them and put them in a pen and fatten them up
Right.
and kill them, and he would sell them too.
Yeah.
You know, so you could. That was like whatever 30 years ago. 20
Yeah.
years ago.
And that's what we did. We'd catch a boar, maybe 100 pounds, and I had a pen there that he couldn't get out of. We'd castrate him, put him in there, maybe have 2 in there at one time. They'd do better. And feed him out. We would kill him, cook him on a pit, and have a big get together. Mm-hmm. And he was good as he could be. I had another friend, and we'd kill him and bone him out and put him all of it in sausage and smoke it. You couldn't buy anything as good as what you could make yourself.
Yeah.
And we used a lots of it. But the older you get, the less you want to do things like that.
Yeah. Hey, look, I think Tyke's is fixing to have to get up and run. But before he goes, I just wanted to touch base on this. Daniel, you've got a grandson
Got a grandson.
and y'all came up here for the Fox Vest event, and this grandson is named.
His name is Fox Hayes Simmons.
I cried like a baby when they told me.
And this little rascal is full of life. He's full of energy. He will follow in the footsteps.
No,
That's great.
That's great.
How about that?
He's a sweet boy. He's all boy now, and he's active. But we were hunting Saturday, and for some reason, nobody packed a goodie bag.
Uh-oh.
And they all got hungry. Well, guess what I had? I had some square cheese crackers and some Viennas. I gave Fox one of those crackers to start with. Man, he loved that thing. And he told me about 3 times, said, "Thank you, Granddaddy. Thank you, Granddaddy."
Yeah.
And I had 2 or 3 Viennas left I hadn't eaten. I was working on them, but I was hungry too. And I said, "What about a Vienna? You want one of them?" "Yes, sir." So I gave him one of them, and of course he eat that thing up too. Same thing again. "Thank you, Granddaddy. Thank you, Granddaddy."
Did y'all have a good time at that event when you came
That's what I
up?
was gonna say. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you guys for that event. You guys went above and beyond to take care of people's below. It was below 20
cold.
degrees.
It was cold.
27.
And
Boy, there was 1,000 people spent the night in 27 degrees outside.
That's where I'm going. My little grandson, little Fox, he got here about 1 o'clock in the morning before the event started, and
It was amazing.
and you guys took well care of him, and also made it a point for Fox to meet Mr. Fox.
You sure did. It was a miracle. Honestly, that's a little bit of a God thing. He wasn't where he could even get out, and all of a sudden he just said, because he'd kind of known. He said, "I want to go." So my sister actually, I didn't even know she was going to be able to. She loaded him up. Him and my mom came up here for a ride, and they
And
came
I think
out.
Daniel and
They were standing right there.
yeah, and
Right pulled up.
Daniel and them went and got Fox and brought him to the car, and
Yep.
we got video and pictures of all that at home.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And speaking of Mr. Fox, tomorrow
He'll be 95 years old.
Hey, hit the horns.
wow.
Yep.
That's some. There's some.
All I can tell you, cherish every day. God bless you both for having that relationship. That's you don't compare. I have this unbelievable relationship with my dad, best friend for all my life. But you don't compare. Everybody has their own in different ways. Bobby lost his a little early, Dudley very early. You just cherish what you have. But it does teach you to cherish every day regardless of that. So I try not to miss a day of going over there and seeing and talking to him and whatever.
Yeah. Well, and when I look, I knew some of y'all's story, but this the whole idea of father son hunting together. So often there's something special about that.
It is.
Oh, very special.
And Daniel, I can see you realize that.
I'm just looking for the 5th generation to join us. That's what I'm waiting
There we
on.
go.
I would not bet against you.
What should we be? What's left of y'all's story that is we need to hear? Well,
The coolest thing is it's still going.
it is.
We can sit here and
is.
tell stories that we ain't even got in any real hunting stories. I've got some hunting stories other than hog stories.
Let me tell you about experience. You have to run into all kind of situations, and especially when you go off from home hunting on land you're not familiar with and hunting with somebody else. And this happened, I don't know, it's been at least 20 years ago, but one of our friends, he was managing a catfish farm in West Alabama. And his man he was working with had a lease down on the Tom Bigby River. And so he invited us to come up there and spend the night, and we drove about 40 miles down to the Tom Bigby River next morning to hunt. Well, we went, and we caught 3 or 4 hogs, and everything was good. Boy, we enjoyed it. So we packed up, went up there the next weekend, not realizing that some things happen that you don't expect. We got up there, and I think we caught 1 hog on the side we started on. The next hog in that Tom Bigby River was about a 1/4 mile wide. That hog swam the river.
Wow.
With about 4 of our hog dogs behind it.
Uh-oh.
We couldn't swim it. We couldn't wade it. The dogs was on the other side, had the hog bait right there on the edge of the river.
Oh, wow.
And what do we do? I said, well, if it's that wide, it can't be that deep. That thinking didn't work, We waded out there maybe 30 yards, and it was up chest deep. And we didn't know what to do. We were in a mess. We really were. And good Lord sent us a new bass boat down there with 2 people. And of course, we were hollering and waving. our arms and everything. And boy, he knocked it off and coasted right on in there. What kind of problem y'all got? Well, we over here and our hog dogs are over yonder. We got a hog bait over on the other side of the river. Really? Yeah. I said, we need a ride over there on the other side of the river. Because we was out there in water this deep, he said, you ain't getting in my boat like that. And I said, I don't want to get in your boat. I said, I sat up on the front of it and hang my feet off. And one of the other fellows we was hunting with, he said, well, I get on the other side. Well, that suited him. So we went over there, and about time we got close to the edge, I hopped off and caught the sow and killed her. And I was putting a dog lead on her, started back to the boat. He done backed out into the water there about 25, 30 yards. And I said, man, where you going? I said, we ain't got no way back across this river here. You ain't putting that hog in my boat. I said, well, I'm not putting that hog in your boat. You're not putting them dogs in there either. I'm not going to put them in there. Well, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to put this dog lead around this hog, and it'll float, and I'm going to float it right behind this boat. And I said, them dogs will follow this hog. You think so? I said, yeah, but you got to take it easy. I said, they can't swim but so fast. Mm-hmm. And I said, once we get about halfway across that river, they'll see the other hunters on the other side. And, of course, there was a few dogs left over there, too, that didn't swim the river. And I said, they'll see them, and you go ahead. And I was right. Mm-hmm. We got over there, about halfway across, the dogs picked up, and they started swimming a little bit. And matter of fact, I think one or two of them kind of got up beside the boat, And I said, you can go ahead and take us on over there now where the rest of the crew is. And we got over there, and man, I was grateful, thanked him. We tried to give him some money. He said, no, I'm fine. He left there. I didn't ask his name. He didn't ask mine, but I've always been thankful for what he did for us. But
wow, no doubt.
I said, we've got a good story to tell, but I said, I'd like to hear his side of that story too.
That's right.
These crazy people.
Crazy hog hunters.
Wow.
He was just so glad he didn't try to put that hog in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Dirty up a fishing boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we got talking about it after, it all happened, and it looked like that thing was brand new. That might have been the maiden voyage. I don't know. But
First run.
I wouldn't have put a hog in mine, I promise you.
Well, he was very firm in what he said. He wouldn't even let me get in the boat.
Wow.
So you can know good well he weren't going to let a dead hog or a nasty dog get in there.
Well, Daniel Dawson, no, I've been aware of you a long time. We've met each other numerous times through the years. It's just been a pleasure to have you and Mr. Clifford.
Very much so.
Blessing for you to be here, no doubt.
Yeah, just have both of y'all. It's just a treasure. It really is.
Well, we've enjoyed it. I mean, we've looked forward to it ever since we got an invitation. I don't mind sharing something, and hopefully, someone is listening or that understand a little bit more about dogs. Mm-hmm. That the starting point is that dog is your friend.
Your bond.
He's got to know that you love him, that you take care of him, that you put your hands on him every day, that you talk to him. And that means more to a dog than in training him than anything else. Mm-hmm. That dog loves you. And when it clicks up here what his job is, he's going to do the best of what he can do for you. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've got dogs, and they're not all the same. I've got some number one dogs, I've got some number twos, and maybe even number three. But as long as that dog is my friend and I'm his friend, and he gives me the best that he can every day I take him out hunting, I'm happy with him.
He's a good dog.
Sounds a lot about life in general and,
and
raising a family.
Yeah, exactly right.
A dog will teach you a lot about life.
Yeah, it will.
Hunting will teach you a lot about life.
Yes, sir.
Tox, this has been a good one.
Yes, sir.
It sure
I was
has.
just going to say the hog hunting was just an excuse to have them on here talking about
no
life.
doubt about it.
Stole my line. Honestly, that's the hero of the day.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, it is. Richard, you're going to have a lot of fun when you go in bed with them, and maybe we can find a Kevlar suit for you to wear.
Yeah.
Richard may need some
No, I think
Kevlar
that
britches.
I want
chaps.
Yeah, that's right.
You'd look good in some chaps.
Some
Richard.
trapdoor breeches.
Shorts.
It might be a little hot for some chaps. you know.
So here's the thing: we're going to require Richie teach you how to the basic skills of running that camera, and Richie's going to kill the hog.
Yeah,
And you're gonna video
I'll jump in. I'll jump in on that.
I tell you what, ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, yeah, that sounded like
I
a
can
plan.
do that.
Yeah. Well, we've enjoyed this, and we certainly have. Thank y'all for traveling up, guys. We really appreciate everybody listening. We have, you can tell we have fun, and we work hard to try to bring interesting guests in here. And sometimes Dudley does a great job with the rapid fires.
Sometimes he does.
Dudley does a good job every time.
And we've got Lanny. You're looking at me
Yes.
like,
Don't forget to sign up for the Nosler Custom Rifle giveaway.
yeah, Daniel. Have you ever you've seen these Nosler rifles? They're just they're heirloom rifles. We're giving one away.
Y'all can win. So all you got to do is go to the
it's got-
Gamekeeper
we can't.
website.
Yep.
You can't. No, you
got a
can't.
Leopold scope,
It's got a Leopold scope,
suppressor
but
on
they
it.
Can. Yep.
Fine. So yeah, just go sign up, guys. You
Yeah.
you
Go to
have
the
a chance to
website,
win
click
that.
on GK giveaway, and get signed up.
All right, we sure appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all for
Thank
being
y'all.
here.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Fun discussion.
Why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Richie.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast, and be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine, and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.